So I did promise to tell about an experience that I've had. So this is quite a few years back. The early 2000s was pretty different as far as like if you went to any kind of bigger metropolis, you could find a scene, the goth industrial scene where you could go and there would be like more than one night a week, typically at a club where you could go dance and all of the things we do in this little subculture we have. And so I was at this club and just, dancing and being around my friends and whatnot. And I just randomly remembered this the other night, and it just dawned on me how bizarre it was because I can't remember another time in my life that anything like this has happened. I've had a lot of really strange things happen, but this is up there with like in the top like tier of really weird shit. So we're kind of just on the dance floor. I don't think it was super packed. I mean, it was kind of early in the night, I think still, or maybe it was later in the night and people had left already. I don't really remember which one. And just on the dance floor doing my thing. And a friend of mine like had stopped cold, just stopped dead on the dance floor. And she's just staring at me. And I'm like, what's up? And so I stopped dancing and I'm just like, and she's like, look down. And I looked kind of down and I was wearing, I think just a kind of tank dress or like just a strappy dress. So my upper arms were exposed and all of this area was exposed. And so quite a bit of skin, but I think I still had like some little arm situations on or whatever. Or maybe just gloves, I think at the time, and some bracelets. So most of my skin was actually showing. And there was writing. I'm not joking. There was writing all over my skin. It was all over my chest. It was all over my arms. It was the most insane shit I have ever seen. And she was just like standing there, just like trying to read it. And I cannot remember like what any of it said or even really remember what it looked like, but it was absolutely insane. And so I remembered this yesterday and I went on this like mission to try to find, any information about what this could be or if anyone else had experienced this. And I went and did a Google search and, the only thing that came up was a YouTube video of someone that was telling a story about that they've had this condition their entire life where words will appear on their skin. That it was assumed it was like some weird allergy thing at first or something very strange. But as I was saying this, I don't remember this ever happening to me before that night. So, and I don't think it's happened since. At least not that I'm aware of. I mean, how often are you just like checking yourself out? I mean, and if it's on your back or something, you wouldn't necessarily see it. So very strange. So yeah, that's like one of my very strange personal things that has happened to me. I do have quite a few. There's another one when I was very small and my mother and I were living with my grandmother at the time. She had left my father and so we were sharing a bed and we were asleep one night and I woke up just straight awake, middle of the night, little kid. I don't remember how old I was. Little kids, I have no like perception of kids' ages at all. So someone could be like, oh, the kid's 2. And I'm like, I don't understand children. So I don't know how old I was at the time. Anyway, I was very small. I think I was maybe 5. I don't know. Anyway, so I wake up and I look out and the doorway to the hallway was kind of to this side. So here's the bed. There's a window right here. We're in the bed here. Over here is the doorway to the hallway. And I look out in the hallway and there's like a glow. There's a glow in the hallway. And in that glow, there are these like shadowy figures, right? And they're just kind of moving in the hallway. I don't know what they're doing. And I'm just like staring because, you know, I mean, when you're a child, your brain isn't muddy with like, there's a reasonable explanation for everything. You're a kid. So you're just like, you know, your brain is different. Your mind is open. And so I'm just like looking at this going, well, what are they doing? You know, like what is happening here? And I'm just, you know, I wasn't really afraid at first. I wasn't really feeling anything. And then faces started to appear in the shadows. And then I got scared and I was trying to wake my mother up and I could not wake her up. And, you know, I think most parents, if their child is in a state of unrest or feeling scared or in any kind of danger, I feel like most parents kind of have this natural thing where they'll just wake up. You know, if your child is like frantically shaking you, you're going to wake up. She would not wake up. And one of these figures comes forward and I drew a picture of it. She still has it. I wish I had a copy and I'd love to have shown it when I told this story because it's so weird. And I drew a picture of this face of this thing that came out of this mass of these moving shadows in this light in the hallway. And like, it came forward and I don't know if it went in here or went over there or where it went. It was weird. I don't know. I was little. And she told me years later that, you know, because she saved the drawing, and she told me years later that she was watching a show about kids who had been abducted or talked about abduction and had drawn pictures, and my picture matched another kid's drawing. Like, they matched, and so she thought that was pretty interesting. I have a few other stories like that. The writing, you know what? It was there. So it might have been there for, you know, the rest of the night or however long we were out. And I mean, I couldn't really do much about it. I mean, we stood there and tried to read stuff and called a couple other people over. And so there were people like trying to read all this stuff that just appeared on me. And then I think I just went back to my drink and went back to the dance floor because, I mean, it was cool. I don't know. You know, this was like pre-cell phone where everybody had a cell phone in their pocket. I mean, or there would have been pictures for sure because it was that crazy. There's a few other really freaky things that have happened to me throughout my life. I've definitely had some experiences, so yeah. But yeah, I just remembered that about the writing, and I had completely forgotten. I hadn't thought of that in years, and it's just like, oh, that was a thing that happened, and it wasn't me by myself. You know, other people definitely saw it. So sadly, no pictures. But what are you gonna do? So, anybody else have any experiences with, you know, unexplained things happening? If you just want to reach out and share any of your stories with me, I'm totally down. That's like so my jam.